Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Now today's first story does come with an update and it's from ThrowAwayBroken998 who says, found out husband 25 male is cheating on me 24 female and I haven't told him yet that I know. I'm totally shaken right now and my mind is numb now, so if this doesn't make any sense, please keep that in mind. Husband 25 male and I 24 female have been married for a year and a half. We celebrate our second anniversary in February. We knew each other since college and he has always been a good husband and partner. Weirdly enough, lately he was even more attentive than usual, and honestly it felt great to have a partner who wanted you so much, and I didn't have the slightest clue that it might even be a lie. I wouldn't have even suspected anything, but about a week ago, I asked to use his phone to call my parents who live in another country, as his phone plan has international free minutes, but he refused, saying he used them all up. When I asked to check how many are left, he got frustrated as he was playing on his PS5 and just wanted to play in peace. I shrugged it off as stress, but something in the back of my mind was telling me to look into this further. For the next few days, every time I would ask to see his phone, he would get defensive. The other day, he did hand me his phone but hovered over me the whole time and then snatched it right away, saying he needed it for work. Mind you, I only asked for it to use his PayPal account and didn't even go near any of his social media apps. I'll admit, my curiosity got the best of me while acting like I was scrolling through my phone. I'd take note of his passcode. It took a while, but I finally got it. The only time the phone isn't on him is when he's asleep, so last night I took it and started searching. To his credit, I found nothing in his contacts or his latest chats to suggest he was having an affair, but once I checked the archive in his WhatsApp, it was all there. He is cheating on me with a co-worker, one I've met many times, and she would have been the last person I would suspect. She's married, 38 years old, and has a 12-year-old daughter. I feel disgusted reading all of their chats. I felt like I was going to throw up, but the biggest punch in the gut, he told her that he loved her. She's out on vacation and he told her, I can't wait to see you, and I wish your husband wasn't there so I could pick you up from the airport and hug you. Honestly, I feel numb. My heart has been shattered into a million pieces. This morning when he was leaving, I told him I was sick and couldn't get up. He asked if he needed to take me to the doctor, to which I just said I'll ask my friend to take me, and he left. I don't know how to talk to him about this. A part of me wants answers, but another part of me wants to believe this isn't real and to save my marriage. But what is there to save if he's already told this woman he loves her? I feel so many things, so much anger, resentment, yet I'm utterly crushed and I've been second guessing myself. Did I go wrong anywhere? I know I shouldn't think like this, but I can't help myself. I don't know how to go forward with this. He's going back home in a few hours. I thought about breaking everything in the house so he could see how he broke our home, then thought of leaving without telling him, but I want answers as well. I seriously don't know what to do here, and we do have an update to this post. Now there's not usually much advice you can give to a post like this apart from, the usual stuff like lawyer up, get your ducks in a row, is that what people usually say? Get STD tests, the usual stuff, and the stuff everyone usually says in these kind of situations. So what I will say is I'm incredibly sorry this is happening to you, because I can't imagine finding something out like that. Someone that you've put your whole heart into, that you love so much and you had no suspicions previous to all this, what's happened to you, to have that suddenly just snatched away just like that and find these messages of your partner saying that they love someone else. Absolutely heart-wrenching. But a couple of comments where OP has replied to them. So California Road Toad says, call a lawyer, show him what you have. This is a situation which requires a clear head and a steady hand. To which OP replied saying, I do have screenshots, but I'll be honest, you telling me to call a lawyer was like being hit by a ton of bricks. I don't know if I can go through with this, let alone a steady hand. EMCCM says, don't say anything to him, he will only deny or blame you. I know this is a massive shock, but you will never be in a stronger position with him than you are now. Get STD tested ASAP. People don't just wake up and turn into cheaters. The cheating you know about is usually just the tip of the iceberg. Contact a divorce attorney, gather all the information he tells you to, and then serve him with papers. Check out the Chump Lady website. good luck, and OP replied saying we don't live in our home country, shouldn't I have to fly back there as that's where we got married to do all this? And one more from MinuteBox3852 who says tell her husband, she deserves to have her own life blown up as well. It's called consequences. He needs consequences too. Don't bury this and play the pick me dance, that never works. And OP replies saying, oh, I'm trying to get hold of her husband and basically what I've been doing all day so far. All I've got is Instagram account, which doesn't seem active, and then people reply to that saying, don't get in touch just yet, don't say a word until you've spoken to an attorney, etc. So now we're going to move on to that first update to see what happened next. It's been a hectic few days for me, to say the least. While still answering all of you, the husband of the affair partner replied to my DM. I had sent him a simple, can you please reply to this, it's kind of important. And while his profile seemed inactive, he surprisingly replied quite quickly. I got to the point so I wouldn't chicken out, and I told him how his wife and my husband are having an affair. Explained to him they work together and sent him the screenshots of the WhatsApp chat, reminding you I had yet to confront my own husband with everything as he hadn't arrived from work yet. And there was a good few hours before he usually arrived home. I guess the husband might have confronted his wife, and through her, my husband found out, but it was obvious he knew because that night he didn't arrive at his usual time. I was thinking of packing up everything and leaving without telling him to begin with, but I guess I wanted answers from him as to why he'd do this to me. When it dawned on me that this man is a coward and I should just leave for my own betterment, I booked a flight back home and left for the airport before he even arrived home. I was waiting for the results of my COVID test at the airport when he called me asking where I was, and I told him. Part of me wants to laugh at what happened next, and part of me wants to cry. Not even in my wildest dreams would I have dreamt this scenario. He tells me to wait for him and we'll take the next flight after this one together. I asked him why I should even consider waiting for him, and he tells me it's all because of my stupidity. As we lived in an Islamic country, adultery is a crime punishable by at least a few months up to a year, so if a husband files a report, he could end up in jail. He basically orders me to stay put and that we'll talk when I arrive at the airport. I flat out tell him I'm leaving and that as he broke the law possibly, I didn't, and he should have thought twice before sleeping with someone else's wife. After that, I turned off my phone and boarded my flight a few hours later. Now I'm back home and everything is slowly sinking in. It's apparent my marriage can no longer go on. I have no love left for the man who, instead of apologizing or at least faced me, ended up telling me, how could you, and turned me into the bad guy. His parents have even accused me of ruining their son's career as his boss fired him and his affair partner when he found out, and even blacklisted him, so now he can't get another work visa for that country. Also, because he left in such a hurry, many things were left unresolved, like we had paid the whole year's rent in advance and still had a few months in the lease, and also things like furniture and monthly bills. So now he's scrambling, trying to get his friends to suspend everything and sell off the furniture, and his parents are angry at the amount of stress I've caused their son. Thankfully, my parents, most of our friends, and even most of his family are on my side and agree he's the one who screwed up. Many of you suggested I do something to get revenge, but honestly, none of this was my intention. Neither do I get any happiness from it. I also have zero intention of wanting anything out of the divorce. I can earn my own money and there's nothing he can give me that will make the pain and heartbreak I've felt these past few days any better. I'm not shaming people who seek alimony. I'm just saying I prefer to sever all ties and finish this off as soon as possible. I want to move on with my life and have already reached out to my old employer of rejoining the company, to which they told me I could return whenever, plus I'm reconnecting with all old friends I missed while living abroad. Husband has hinted he wants to talk and maybe even consider reconciling, but I've made a strict only talk through my lawyer rule and made it clear that is not happening ever. I don't know if this is a good update, but this is currently reality. My divorce might take a while, maybe even up to a year, as judges usually will give couples a few months if one person seeks reconciliation and isn't willing to an uncontested divorce. So for now, this man is still legally my husband, but emotionally, he's currently a complete stranger to me. I thank all of you for the love and support. The advice you gave was really great. Thanks to all of you. I'm currently lawyered up and all contact is through him. And again, we have another update as well. So update 2 says, currently hyperventilating and really don't know what to do. I hired a really good lawyer, but she did warn me if my ex-husband asked for reconciliation period, the judge would most likely grant it, and that's exactly what happened. On Friday, before we went in front of the judge, I'd asked him nicely, just set me free, as I didn't see the relationship remaining intact. He didn't say anything initially, but later on said he'd think about it. We first presented the WhatsApp chat screenshots, and my lawyer explained the entire story of him cheating with a co-worker and how I found out during this time. This makes me so angry, even remembering this part. He starts crying. Yes, sobbing like a baby. I'm in utter shock and can't even say anything, and he suddenly begs the judge, saying he made a mistake and wants to make it right. He turns to me and says, "I love you, please give me another chance." After this, there was literally nothing I could do or say to convince the judge to let the divorce move forward, and he told us to try a 6-month reconciliation period. I went home in tears. Today, he contacts me through my lawyer, asking when I'll move back in with him. The audacity of this man. After all this time, finally I let my anger get the best of me. I didn't give a flying fuck if this made me seem bad in court. I took my phone, dialed his number, as I deleted it, and screamed at him, telling him whatever I wanted to say for the past month or so. I made it clear I want nothing to do with him, and he should go ahead and try all he wants. He is not getting me back. He had the audacity to call me irrational and threw BS like, "I'll wait for as long as it takes you to forgive me." Ugh, this is getting too much for me. I'm hyperventilating, my anxiety is going up, and I'm generally not feeling well. My lawyer said he can't force me to move back in with him, and it's entirely my choice to stay wherever I choose, but still the thought wants me to throw up. I think I made myself to believe that it'd be easier onwards from here, and it's taken me off guard how difficult it really is to separate from a spouse. I really don't know what to do. I want to go somewhere far away where he can't reach me in any shape or form. Even the thought of him makes my blood boil. And we do have a third update to this as well, and this whole reconciliation period from court ordered isn't new to me, and I was just googling some myself, and I'm still pretty much in the dark about it. But what had me really questioning when one of the partners has cheated and the other one says there's absolutely no way you're ever going to get back together, or something along those lines, but the judge can still order against that and still order this period of reconciliation. It confused me a bit, I gotta be honest. And I'm certainly going to be doing some more Googling after I finish recording this to catch up on the benefits of this. I'm just wondering in the end, if one of them doesn't agree to this reconciliation, does it affect the assets in some way? Again, I don't know. I'm just wondering, so I'll find that out later. But we're going to move straight into that third update now to see what happened next. And it says, "I'm kind of clueless as how to begin here, as honestly so much has happened in the past few months. It's like looking back at a bad dream, but mine was very, very real. After the judge ruled we needed to go through a period of reconciliation, I asked my lawyer if I could leave the country, and he said yes, but it might make me look bad to the judge and my ex could use it against me. I didn't care and just wanted to get away, so I cancelled my old UAE visa, which was sponsored by my ex, and my employer sponsored my new visa. My best friend, who also lived in Dubai, offered to find an apartment where both of us could be roommates, as she felt crowded in her current living situation. She was living with 4 people, a couple and another roommate, and I immediately agreed. She found the apartment while I was sorting out my visa, and I had technically moved in even before I arrived. Lol. A few days after I arrived in Dubai, my ex's friend contacted me. He still had our old furniture and just wanted it off his hands, which I was more than happy to do. The bed, side table, sofa set, and other big furniture I sold off for dirt cheap on an app. The stuff I kept was all my kitchen and baking stuff, like my KitchenAid, which I had all bought with my own money, and the TV, which was his pride and joy. Now we have a very nice big screen smart TV in our common area, all thanks to him. Earlier on, while still in my home country, the affair partner's husband DM'd me a few times, but I was too preoccupied to message him back. To be honest, I intended to block him at first, but once the dust settled a bit, I did manage to talk to him. He's also going through a very messy separation, as he can't file for divorce in the UAE. Hilarious as it might be to some of you, the reason my ex ran away from Dubai with his tail between his legs was the AP's husband filing a complaint which he had no intention of doing, as that would mean the affair partner would be charged as well, and he didn't want to do that to his daughter. Now they are both still legally married, waiting for their daughter to finish the school year so they can go back to Australia to get officially divorced. To think I felt I had it hard. The poor man moved out of his home to a hotel all for the sake of his daughter, and even after they got divorced, he still have to deal with a woman as they share a child. Thank God that's something I don't have to deal with. As for my marriage, I'm happy to say our divorce was finalised on January the 16th. Some of you might remember that my reconciliation period was supposed to end in April, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, it sadly had to be cut short. I seriously count myself lucky with this. Apparently, my so-called loving ex-husband, who was crying in court to save our marriage, is getting married again. Yep, he's getting remarried and applied to terminate the marriage, which I was happy to comply to. I went back home on January 5th and signed the papers on the 10th, which were finalised on the 16th, and I was back in Dubai by the 26th. Sadly, we didn't have the same judge, so I didn't have my told you so moment, but all in all, I got what I wanted, finally. I'm not dating anyone officially yet. I haven't met someone, but I am taking things slow and don't want to jump into anything serious just yet. Oh, and something I forgot to mention. You all blew this post up so much, people were sending me screenshots from Instagram posts about it, which I thought was wild, that it managed to travel to other social media apps, and even my ex found out about the post through YouTube. Apparently a friend of his watched it on a channel called Lost Genre, and he even sent me a very scathing email through his lawyer for defaming his name on social media. My lawyer put him in his place, saying that the post was anonymous and no one knew my identity, let alone the country we are from, so he shut up real quick. I had a good laugh about it though, and even talked to the guy behind the channel on his Reddit account. He was super nice. I want to thank all of you for the support and kind messages. I cannot begin to explain how much they helped and gave me strength. To think a bunch of strangers who I've never even met showed me my worth and helped me get out of a toxic relationship. Thank you to everyone. I know this was long, but since it will be the last update from me, I wanted it to count. And apologies if you have heard the story before on the other channel, and I did get in contact with OP to request to read this one as well. But wow, what a time, and I'm still really shocked about this period of reconciliation. And again, I'm going to do some research on this afterwards, because I find that absolutely wild, that you can't just say, my partner's cheated, I want to get out of the relationship, that's it. That the judge can order you guys to have this period, which just seems weird. And I imagine that there's possibly some situations where it may be beneficial, I think. I don't know, again, I'm going to have to look into that. But what do you guys make of this situation? Have you heard of this period of reconciliation before? I'm sure you have. You guys are smarter than me. But let me know your thoughts on this story and what your advice would be to OP, apart from living their best life right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, a huge thank you for spending 20 to 30 minutes with me today, getting involved in the channel. Your love, support, and time means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today